Yeah, Wes, and just briefly, I don't know why it popped up, but there was our drought monitor and showing we are still under extreme drought for parts of our area. So the fact that we are getting some rainfall with this system is very beneficial. Of course, we don't want to see the severe threat with that, but this tornado watch is going to remain in effect until 2 a.m. Central Time. We have already seen, if we zoom in here, the 4 counties from our neck of the woods that have been cleared from that watch. So if you live in Coleman County, Winston County, Marion County, Lamar County, you're in the clear. Other spots, not quite there just yet. I do expect over the next few hours we'll gradually see counties being cleared from the northwest to the southeast. But I wanted to show you, as Wes was mentioning, that forecast data. Let's look at the next 24 hours here. And I'm just keeping a close eye on radar as I'm showing you this. So this is the line, the messy line, the configuration that is moving through right now, situated along that I-2059 corridor. As we go into tonight, we're about 10 minutes out from midnight now. It's still going to be situated along that corridor, but gradually moving to the south and east. So remember, the actual tornado watch is in effect until 2 a.m. Central Time. And this is what our high-resolution futurecast is showcasing, that around 2 a.m. Central Time, likely the severe threat north and west of I-2059 will be coming to an end, but there's still going to be a low-end severe threat, still some booming thunderstorms, still some gusty winds and heavy rainfall as this line is pushing south and east of I-2059. So we'll go forward here in time. Here we are around 4 a.m. showing the worst of the storms, now areas to the south and east. That's including parts of Talladega County up to Calhoun County, Clay County, Coosa County, Chilton County. But what I want you to know, here we are at 4 a.m. Look at what is happening to temperatures. Getting into the 40s. Remember how warm and gross it felt outside today? Well, that cold front is coming in. And as that cold front comes in, not only is it going to bring in colder air, it's going to bring in more stable air, drier air. And so that's going to help to kind of gobble away that severe threat. So the only spot left around 4 a.m. that maybe you could still see a strong to severe storm, a low-end threat for that persisting, would be in east central Alabama, closer to areas like Tallapoosa County, Chambers, into Randolph County. So there is a chance that after this main batch moves through, there's still going to be some rain on the backside of it, but eventually, by tomorrow morning, it's likely going to be turning into a cold rain, unfortunately. But that's Alabama, right? You have these storms, the severe storms come through. Hopefully, we keep this threat below severe limits for most of us. But by 8, 9 a.m., there still could be some lingering showers in the morning. It's still going to be cloudy, but it's going to be a lot colder and it's going to be a lot breezier. So just be prepared. You go to bed tonight, it still feels warm, sticky, yucky outside, and then you wake up tomorrow morning cooler and eventually turning drier by tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, we're keeping a close eye still on this one storm west that is moving through Tuscaloosa County, getting into western Jefferson County now. This is still the only active warning in our area in effect until midnight. So our main concern is just watching for any little kinks along the line that could indicate the possibility of some rotation west.
All right, Lauren, let's go to our first alert sky vision. Live look right now over, this is from Grandview Medical Center over Jefferson County, a live look. We're at 63 degrees. You can see that low clouds there, very ominous clouds. That's those storms now approaching from the west direction. Severe storms of moving into the Birmingham area. A first alert if you're in the Birmingham area. Now the heavier rain has backed off. You can see that latest view. Well, a little bit of rain, but not as heavy there in Tuscaloosa. Sanders Aviation, Jasper. We're in Walker County here. It's 59. We're stable. Severe weather threat has ended for us right now in Jasper. The severe threat ended there. It's raining steadily. You can see here in downtown from Young Jewelers, 59 degrees at this time. Birmingham downtown, we're showing 63 degrees. Winds northwest at 11 miles per hour. And Lauren, I'm just looking here. Dew point at 59. That's not off the chart. So with respect to surface-based instability, that is a good sign. Seeing those dew points a little bit lower, but just note that we do have some intense lightning, some gusty winds about to move into the Birmingham area. So I see a lot of folks out and about there tonight. So just I see some cars there downtown, some traffic moving along. We're going to be dealing with some gusty winds. Montevallo looks like we might have lost that feed there. Of course, Oak Grove, Talladega County, 67. We're still not far from 70. So these areas to the south, it's still kind of soupy. Also noticing the winds gusting at 17 miles per hour. So we're under a tornado watch here. Talladega County, Sylacauga areas. We're watching it closely for you. At this point, again, a lot of the storms that we're seeing, a lot of this activities in areas a bit further to the north and back to the north and east. Let's go back to radar, and did have a view. I want to see if I can get this pulled up here quickly. This just in from Ryan Carty in Jefferson County, reporting that we do have some strong wind gusts and some intense lightning happening right now. See if we got that feedback. There we go. Yeah, this is lightning starting to pick up. This is in parts of Jefferson County. This is out around Birmingport and the Adger area. So we're starting to get storms there. That lightning starting to pick up as the severe storm makes its way into Jefferson County. And back to, see if we can get back to, Lauren, can you go back to radar view over there, please?
It is on radar view. Let me see if I can.
Okay, there we go. So had to go back to our router. So let's take a look at the severe thunderstorm warning at this time, and we're still watching Jefferson County. We're getting some strong wind gusts now around Eastern Valley Road. We gave you that first alert here in McCalla. Strong winds right now, heavy rainfall. What you're looking at is the possibility of a little bit of rotation where we have those strong winds. Thankfully, so far, this storm is behaving. The only active warning that we have at this time remains across Jefferson County. So Jefferson County, we're going to, I mentioned Birmingham's going to have some heavy rain, some gusty winds, but the severe part of this storm, the warning right now is back into the western part of the county. I don't know if they're going to extend that to include the city as this moves further east, but we're certainly going to get the rain, the gusty winds as this tracks further to the east direction. But this, clearly you can look at this and tell a lot of heavy rainfall, a lot of communities impacted here. Looking at the hail probabilities, around 80%, so there's a chance that we still probably have some pea-sized hailstones moving east-northeast at 47 miles per hour, but all areas impacted here through midnight. Our data has done an incredible job here with the timing on this, but it's close to midnight. Here it goes. I remember some of the models, even 3 or 4 nights ago, were suggesting that it would be 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. that this line will be moving through Birmingham, and you can see there, Hueytown, now heavy rainfall, Bessemer area. And areas further west, if you're in Tuscaloosa, if you're north of there, severe threat has ended. This is now more of a concern in a Jefferson County, if anything, but the storm continuing to press on eastward to Hueytown, Concord, so you're going to get those winds, most likely 40, 50 miles per hour, perhaps a rogue wind gust close to 60 miles per hour out of this, based on the observations, what we've been seeing so far with this storm system at this time. And some of the heaviest rain is actually impacting some of our busiest roads. As you can see now around Bessemer and 459, rainfall really coming down here. That's out towards Powder Plant Road, and that's going to be tracking right now Lipscomb and Brighton. Your areas, Minor, and areas further north. You get in towards places like Sylvan Springs, Rock Creek Road. Right now, some of the heaviest of the rain as this moves in. And this is round number 2 after we finally got some much-needed rain earlier. Did we actually go back and check, Lauren? Let's bring in the rainfall estimates. I'd just be curious to see what we've picked up so far across the area, because we had that one storm. Look at this. It moved across St. Clair County. Yeah, this is an area where we totally missed out last week for a lot of these areas west and into eastern Alabama. But look at that, over an inch of rain around Birmingham. Look at Tuscaloosa radar estimating we've picked up over 2 inches of rain around places like Ralph and Foster's, back in towards Knoxville and Coleman areas to the north. Everybody, a lot of areas where we've just been missing out, it seems like, week after week. That's the one good thing about tonight, is we're finally gotten some much needed rainfall. And more of this as this all slides southward. I know we haven't seen a whole lot so far, areas to the south, but this is about to get down into Shelby County, points further south down into Chilton County as well. But we do have a tornado watch. It's not a severe thunderstorm watch, a tornado watch that will remain in effect until 2 o'clock in the morning, but counties being trimmed away as this continues to the east. This does include everybody in the WBRC Fox 6 coverage area. So if you make sure before you head off to bed, you have our First Alert weather app. Based on what we're seeing right now, I mean, we clearly have an area that needs to be monitored. It's this zone zone that's through Jefferson County, Tuscaloosa County, and Point South. So far, only one severe thunderstorm warning along that line. But anytime you see something like this and it's got these little bowing segments, that tells me that we could have some strong winds in there. So this is going to get our attention as it moves on to the east here. It's now closing in on Birmingham. It's now crossing around McCalla and Bessemer and now pushing into Bibb County. But Tuscaloosa is behind this now. So Northport, Tuscaloosa, north to Samantha, severe weather threat is over. Fayette, Jasper, severe threat over. Coleman, and very soon we'll be able to clear places like Warrior and back to Gardendale as the line moves to the east. But let's get in really close, and now it looks like this is just within, let's see, 11:58 right now. We're probably within 15, 20 minutes. This is crossing the Birmingham area with some very heavy rain and some gusty winds. But the Weather Service, Lauren, are any indications that we're going to expand this, the severe thunderstorm warning through Birmingham, or we're going to let this expire?
I'm not seeing any reports yet that it will be extended.
Okay.
If that's the case, I have not seen that yet.
All right, so hopefully we'll see that expire here soon, and I believe what we're going to do, I mean, we'll stay on this. Let's just keep a watch on this here as it moves into Birmingham. I know we got some heavy rainfall and some gusty winds. I'm getting a lot of reports here. A tree across a house in Cherokee County, Alabama. This was along Hills Drive. No injuries or entrapment, but that's coming from Cherokee County. So that's that one storm and that heavy rain that was moving through northeast Alabama. And by the way, if you do have any reports to pass along, you can find us with one platform I always love to look at, Twitter, all the social media platforms. You can find myself, you can find Lauren there. And if you have our First Alert weather app, you can also submit weather photos. Typically, I know it's nighttime, and I don't want anybody going out in the middle of a storm right now, but if it's tomorrow or whenever, if you do have any damage reports that we need to go back and investigate and say, hey, was this a severe storm, things like that, the Weather Service, they go out and they do storm assessment, pictures and things like that often help us as well. So just letting you know, you can submit those on the First Alert weather app. But here we go. A new severe thunderstorm warning now has been issued. So we've been tracking this out of Tuscaloosa County, and this has also included parts of Blount and St. Clair County. So this is the storm of the night. Thankfully, so far, we haven't seen this go to the level of tornadic thunderstorm, but it is producing some strong winds, and there's a chance that we could have some damaging straight line winds out of this. Okay, so this is closing in now on the city of Birmingham. We're getting the heaviest rain around Pleasant Grove, Concord, Hueytown. We gave you that first alert. There's Adamsville, Highway 269. So anywhere from the Old Gorgas Steam Plant point southward, right now you're getting some of the heaviest rain out of this storm at this time. Some intense lightning as this moves to the east, and this will continue. The best thing to do, Lauren, is go to future radar, and let's take this and let's just take it step by step. We're going to have to go hold the map right there. Let's go back into where we were so we can see some of the communities, and let's zoom in just a little bit more. All right, let's stop it right here. Now let's just take it out. Let's go frame by frame. So watch the time here. There's midnight. So this is future radar. We're taking this out the next 60 minutes. So giving you some first alert times. Where will this go? So as we get closer to 12:15, by that point, we've got some of the greatest impacts. Inslee, Fairfield, Lipscomb, Adamsville, Sayre. Those areas impacted. Gardendale, it's going to be approaching us by 12:15. Fultondale, crossing Birmingham by 12:20. So a first alert time, Irondale to Birmingham, Vestavia Hills. So the heart of the area, and actually the forecast data suggesting, Lauren, we may again see some quarter-size, nickel to quarter-size hailstones around Fultondale and Gardendale. There's Pinson. Let's stop it right here, 12:30. So we're looking at the Center Point Parkway up to Pinson, and you get in towards Turkey Creek, those areas there off to the north. You can see around Brentwood and Clay, Chalkville, Trussville. There's the Roebuck area, and there's 1240. So by that point, we're past the East Lake area, and then approaching Springville, Margaret, and Moody. Let's take it out close to. So we're getting out 60 minutes from now, so you can kind of see an hour. Most of this is going to be into places like Aniana, crossing around Highland Lakes and Straight Mountain, Springville, Margaret, Argo, Odenville, 1250, okay? So by 1250, expect those impacts. After that, just know the severe threat's coming to an end. Once this storm passes, that's going to be the last that we see. This is just a lot of rain and embedded rumble, some good sleeping weather behind this, but we do need to be alert for this severe storm as it makes its way into the area. Now, we looked at the north part of this storm, Lauren. Let's go in and kind of look at this area on future radar. Let's zoom in one more time, and let's take this out. We've got the heavy rain right around Bessemer, Lipscomb, and Brighton. I mentioned that's now going to be moving its way across Oxmoor Valley. So here we go. There's the times again, close to midnight. We're going to take this out 60 minutes just to show you times of arrival. There's midnight. We take it out to 12:12, and the leading edge, once again, around Birmingham, around Bluff Park, the Hoover Met you see there pushing over towards Bent Brook Golf Course, and those areas impacted. There's 12:15. We'll take this on out to close to 12:30. Leading edge from Vestavia Hills through Hoover, crossing right around Lorna Road, crossing back around the Heatherwood Country Club area, back to the south, Valleydale Road, the leading edge, Altadena Woods, and those communities here, Caldwell Mill Road, that's going to be around 12:30. Looks like around the Pump House Road areas as well. Cahaba Heights, there's Cahaba Heights being impacted by 12:40. Dunavant being impacted by 12:40. So all these areas by 12:40 to 1 o'clock, some heavy rain, some gusty winds as that moves on through. But that's our future radar. You see there, next 60 minutes. This is actually part of our radar system, our storm track system, some of the higher resolution data that we have in the system here, and it does one of the best jobs there forecasting where these storms are going. But that's the only severe storm. I know folks now are waking up if you're around Mountville, down to Greensboro, over to Brent. I know you're getting some heavy rain, some intense lightning right now. That storm is non-severe, so we are paying attention to it, but it is not severe at this time. Just a lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain. But hey, we're staying up with you here tonight in the First Alert Weather Center. Since we have declared a First Alert Weather Day, we know a lot of folks, we've had so many questions and wondering about the weather, and we're staying on top of it, and might as well just give you the minute by minute on this as it impacts the heart of the area here, pushing through Birmingham, and a lot of rain, some heavy rain now around Bessemer. And once again, the initial reason we popped on television is this. We're getting indications here that it might be about to produce a tornado, and then it backs off. So hopefully, here we go again. We're seeing some indications of a little bit of spin. Hopefully it doesn't go to that next stage, but we are keeping a watch on this line as it moves through. Certainly going to get some gusty winds, and that is around Powderly. I mentioned anywhere from Frenchtown and over towards Miles College, and all those locations there are right now getting some of the heaviest of the rain pushing through Birmingham. Lauren, do you have any reports you want to pass along? I know it's late at night, and that's the one thing, you get at this hour, it's tough to take pictures or get a lot of visualization when it comes to, what some of these storms are doing out there at this time. A lot of rain, and really just so far what I've been seeing is small hail reports. There was that one report in Tuscaloosa, quarter-size hailstones out on the University of Alabama, but that was the last report I saw.
Yeah, Wes, what I do want to draw folks' attention to is that we've had some more counties cleared from the tornado watch. If we look across West Alabama, Walker County, Fayette County, Tuscaloosa County, Pickens County, Sumter County, and Greene County now have been cleared from the watch, so we can sound the all clear for you that severe threat is over. But now that severe threat is shifting to the I-2059 corridor, getting along and west of I-65, and also south of I-2059. So this is gradually making its way across. The one cell we definitely want to keep an eye on is this one that is moving into Jefferson County, western Jefferson County. And as Wes was noting, it's this little appendage here on radar near Fairfield and just to the west of Birmingham, really in West Birmingham, that we've got to keep a close eye on this storm as it moves through. So if you're seeing this, like, what is that random cylinder there? That is our system picking up on the possibility of some rotation on this as it moves across Bessemer Superhighway. And so this is getting actually close to I-20. It's pushing off to the northeast. So we want to look at some of our products here. I'm checking to see if we have any reports from the National Weather Service. The National Weather Service in Birmingham, they do such a great job of not pulling the trigger unless they're absolutely sure, because they want to keep that false alarm rate down. And they're just very skilled at what they do. too. So we're going to keep a close eye on this and see if we get any updates from them. But this one cell has been the one that is just trying to cause some trouble.
Yeah,
you see these.
Every couple of scans, we start to see rotation again.
Right, yeah. So it just, and this is the type of environment. We've kind of been talking about this all week. If we were to see a tornado manifest, it was going to be a little isolated, likely a brief spin up. Now, on the northern tier of this line, outside of Alabama and Tennessee, where we saw those damaging, deadly tornadoes today, in that area, there was more upper level support for this system for that severe threat to manifest, which is why we saw those more robust storms that produced the tornadoes. That's not to say we couldn't see a tornado tonight, but the dynamics were a little different up there. But now this is kind of that prime time for us. If we were going to see anything, this is going to be the time for that to happen. So if you are in Vestavia Hills, Hoover, living along Highway 31 and around Homewood, we are seeing some strong winds moving in, and this is what we're watching closely for rotation as it approaches the Birmingham metro area. But so far, this rotation looks fairly broad. So I think even if you don't see an isolated tornado out of this, you are going to be hearing some strong wind gusts coming through, and there's some intense lightning on this as well. As we pull up our lightning counter, this has about 60 lightning strikes on it in this one particular cell. And we were just noting from the National Weather Service, one of our friends over there, noting that this rotation that is approaching Homewood and Hoover is broad, but we're keeping an eye on it. Actually, just what I was saying, the gusty winds are really what we want to pay attention with. We know gusty straight line winds can be a pain all on their own. If you've had a severe thunderstorm come through and you happen to get damage from straight line winds, you know sometimes if the winds are intense enough, that can be on par with a low end tornado. And I think Wes right now, if I can tell, he is actually pulling up some of our first alert sky vision cameras so we can get an idea of this storm, actually put some eyes on it as it's moving into western Jefferson County, West, where we're watching this broad rotation.
Yeah, that's right, Lauren. You'll see here on our camera, this is from Adair Tire in Gardendale. We've had some intense lightning happening in that area. You can see the rain coming down at this time. 63 degrees, winds north at 10 miles per hour, so these storms pressing through. These are severe storms right now. If you're waking up, you're getting that first alert here in Gardendale. These are severe thunderstorms that are now making their way through Jefferson County. It is 12:10 in the morning. WBRC First Alert Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt, along with meteorologist Lauren Linehan. We are breaking in for a First Alert weather day. We've got some weather coverage here for you because earlier we were watching storms that were moving into Jefferson County, and we started to see some rotation with those storms as they moved into Tuscaloosa, and that's when we went on television and we thought we might have a warning coming, and we just stayed on this. You can clearly tell a very ominous sky. We've got a low cloud base here, a low ceiling with those clouds moving into Jefferson County, some heavy rainfall. This is the view looking back to the northwest from Grandview Medical Center right now, where the temperature is 63 degrees, but that lightning, it is popping. Actually, let's go back, Lauren. I was noticing right in here and already see that heavy rainfall back there to the north that's about to move into the city. So we got some heavy rain here about to impact Birmingham. You're probably hearing those rumbles, a lot of loud rumbles. Look at the lightning starting to pop here. The view from the McQuain Science Center. And this is a live look from downtown Birmingham. So I see a lot of cars there still, folks out and about tonight. But make sure you get to where you need to go because it's about to be very windy, 40, 50 mile per hour winds. We could have some severe wind gusts here through Birmingham and also some very heavy rainfall. Summerton, one thing to point out is the temperature is 59 degrees. So you go a little bit further north, that stable air is really starting to take over in those areas to the north, but still looks like there in the Summerton area, a lot of rainfall. Let's jump back over to another camera. This is a bit further south, but that's in the Oak Grove right now where it is 67 degrees. So we are looking at right now, we need to go back to our radar once again. We're seeing some strong rotation here, and this is right around Homewood. Meteorologist Lauren Linehan, we are zooming in on this. So right from Vestavia Hills to Homewood, we got some strong winds being indicated. And Lauren, we can just go ahead and let's just turn this off, and let's get in really close here. And of course, this isn't far from us, actually, here on Red Mountain, where we're seeing these stronger winds. So we're going to be able to of course, give some observation here to this, and typically the winds are often, wind speeds are higher here where we're located at Red Mountain. We often get those gusty winds, and we've had some intense lightning already tonight. But Homewood right now, there's Grove Park, Cullen Place. I'm just trying to look. Let me look at the map here, Lauren. I'm just having a tough time seeing. I need to zoom in a little bit closer. I just want to see some of these areas. So there's Lakeshore Drive. Okay, so Lakeshore Drive right now. So this is pushing through. There's Lakeshore, Highway 31. If we can get our camera at Brookwood Medical Center, that's going to give us a good view of this, what's going on out there in real time as this moves through. We have a camera that is located at Brookwood Medical Center right here, so we'll be able to bring that up. But the winds, according to this, we have some. Do we have a good view?
Yeah, it's
okay. Let's go back. Can we go back to our graphic system here? So this is a live look from Brookwood Baptist Medical Center.
There it is.
Yeah, and we've got the strong winds now here on Red Mountain, so we've got some intense winds. You can see it is whiteout conditions right now in Homewood. Folks, we got some severe thunderstorms moving through the area tonight. This is a nasty storm at this time, and folks, I just can't stress enough, you need to be off the road. People right now on 280 are caught in all this. It is just a blinding rain, but on top of that, we've got winds with winds that cause what you see right there. It's almost like being in a hurricane or a tropical storm. I mean, you can just see the blowing rain, and it's whiteout conditions, gusts likely over 40, 50 miles per hour, but that is crossing right now in Homewood at Lakeshore Parkway. We've got some very strong winds there tonight. So this is a severe thunderstorm, and wow, did you see the lightning there? Yeah. It's just almost continuous in that camera view. But a live look from Brookwood Baptist Medical Center as severe thunderstorms move through the area, and it almost looked a little bit like a glow to that. Mm-hmm. Did you notice that? Yeah. Almost like a green glow. When you see that sometimes, almost a greenish glow with a severe storm like this, that is telling us that we could likely...
We're getting reports of hail in Homewood.
Well, there you go. That's an indicator of hail, and that's why we're seeing that. But we've got some strong winds, and you can see even, it looks like little pieces of debris. You see that flying by the camera, and we just lost the feed. We just lost the feed. Let's go back to, well, there we go. There's the feeds coming back right now. So, again, folks, if you're waking up to this, this is a very intense, severe thunderstorm right now pushing through Homewood and Birmingham, pushing through Jefferson County, and actually we're seeing those impacts. We do have hail falling right now.
We're getting reports of trees down in Hoover.
So we're getting reports of trees down in the Hoover area at this time.
And reports of hail in Homewood.
Yeah, it's hailing right now.
Yeah, we hear it here at the station, actually.
Yeah, we have large hail falling here on Red Mountain right now with this storm, and actually, Lauren,
small circulation on the south side of Alabaster, Wes.
And I don't know, folks, if you can hear this, but I'm just stepping. I'm not walking outside.
We can hear it, Wes, through your microphone.
Yeah, so you can hear the large hail that's hitting the door here outside the television station. And actually, I just want to walk around and take a look to see what size that we're seeing here. And yeah, it looks like we may have perhaps dime size falling here on Red Mountain right now. But it wouldn't surprise me if we had quarter size hailstones or greater. And I know for a lot of folks, Lauren, that is certainly, I mean, you can clearly tell it is really rocking here on Red Mountain. Let's go back to radar and let's get out ahead of this.
Wes, I actually just noted too that around Alabaster, they're noticing some rotation has been developing, the National Weather Service. And this is right near the radar site, so it's a little hard to see it. But this is south of what we're dealing with now here in the Homewood area.
So Regent Lane, per Hoover Fire Department, we've got an entrapment now being reported. As meteorologist Lauren Linehan's saying, that is in the Hoover. If the newsroom, if you're listening, we're getting some reports here now of some trees down and some impacts in the Hoover area. Reports coming in out of western Jefferson County, out of Concord and Hueytown. A large tree branch that was partially blocking the road. Let me see here. I'm getting a report also. Okay, so we have at this point getting some reports of just a lot of reports coming in of strong winds now pushing in through Jefferson County. So folks tuning in right now, we have a severe storm. The strongest winds now about to cross, or they should have crossed. Let's get in here closer. Is this the latest scan? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you were in Shelby County. Let's get in back to Birmingham. So 280 right here. 280, the strongest winds have crossed 280. What we were just seeing on our camera. And Hutch, if you're listening in the back, I don't know, you might want to, if you can take our other system and put it in a double box, we can see that camera and we can show folks here on TV. But that was at Brookwood Medical Center. But those strong winds now, we're getting the hail, the damaging winds now pushing out towards Crestline, Mountain Brook areas, and now there's Crestline Gardens right there. I mentioned Crestline. There's Brookwood Road. So Brookwood Road, Cherokee Road, those areas. There's Overbrook Road. That's another area you can see, and now it's continuing to press on some of those stronger winds. Here's Interstate 459. So just trying to look. Can we back out the view a little bit? Okay, so yeah, here's Liberty Parkways right here. So there's Liberty Parkway, there's Overton Road and Liberty Parkway areas being impacted. So this is pushing through Cahaba Heights at this time, those strong winds, and where we could be dealing with some tree damage at this time. I know this is waking you up there. If you're around Brookwood Road, it's not a tornado, it's a severe thunderstorm. We're most concerned at this time for straight line winds. I know when you look at this is showing strong rotation, but a lot of straight line wind gust over 40, 50 miles per hour. That's what we're seeing with this as this moves onto the east direction. But let's back the view out and go into Shelby County as well, Lauren. You can see those winds there, 63 miles per hour. And Lauren, you were talking about Hoover, and in these areas, some of those stronger winds have now pushed, let's see here, looks like over towards... Looks like it's crossed Highway 280 now. Yeah, we're still seeing around Liberty Park, again, some of those stronger winds. But most of this is now through Birmingham, the heart of Birmingham, and now pushing in towards East Birmingham. So East Birmingham right now feeling the impacts from this severe thunderstorm that is, it's on the upper end. You know, now what we do with severe thunderstorms, and I don't know if you have seen this, Lauren, if this is what's being classified as a destructive storm or significant storm, but I know we do have levels of severe thunderstorm warnings. But this particular one, certainly from the observations, you could tell on the camera, it packed a punch here on this Sunday morning as it moved through Birmingham. Any other reports that you're getting? I know a lot of information coming in right now.
Yeah, Wes, it's just suddenly National Weather Service chat has been lighting up with reports. It looks like we're actually, I'm going to pull this up. Right now, it looks like we're getting reports of power outages here in the Birmingham area. You remember we were looking at that not long ago, about 20 minutes ago, and it was more so an issue in Tuscaloosa County. I'm going to see if we can get an idea of how many in Jefferson County. About 3,500 customers without power right now in Jefferson County. And I imagine as this storm continues to push eastward that we could see that number grow. This is the same storm that moved through Tuscaloosa County that we just kept saying, man, this is the one to watch. It's pretty gnarly. We're seeing 6,000 customers without power right now in Tuscaloosa County as well. So if you live somewhere like St. Clair County, Etowah County, Blount County, I would be mindful that this same storm that does have a history of producing damage, a severe warned storm, does have the possibility to bring power outages in your neck of the woods as well, because we've been getting reports of some downed trees and power lines as this storm moves through. I will note that the National Weather Service said this is not a situation at the moment where they're looking to pull the trigger on a tornado warning because the rotation is broad. But as I was saying, it does not have to be a tornado to cause damage. The severe thunderstorm, as it's been moving through, we've been getting reports of hail in Homewood, 5 Points, and also seeing reports of strong wind gusts as this moves through. What I will note is that as this is pushing east of Birmingham, as it's moving along I-20, notice that pink there, just to the north of 459. That could indicate some more hail that is falling. I don't want you all to go outside ahead and look at what those hail sizes are now, but possibly after the storm passes through, you can give us a better idea of those reports on social media or let our newsroom know. As far as where is this heading next, well, some very heavy rain moving through Mountain Brook. If you're in western Birmingham, the worst of it has moved through for you, but you can see Avondale, Irondale, up towards Bel Air, getting towards Fultondale, Coalburg, over towards Trussville. Trussville, you're actually going to be next in line as this storm moves in. So the possibility of some damaging wind gusts and hail. Look at how this storm is structured. We mentioned that pink, which could be indicating some hail here, but look at how this is bowing out. If you think about how a bow and arrow is shaped, that bow, that right there is likely some strong wind gusts that are moving right along 459, getting closer to Trussville. So if you're in Trussville, a first alert, that's some very strong winds and some loud booming thunder is going to be moving through. There is a lot of lightning on this storm as it's moving through, but I think the big concern is not just the lightning that could cause power outages, but if we have damaging wind gusts associated with this. We had been getting reports of damaging wind gusts possibly over 60 miles per hour in some spots. And we are watching our rotation tracker here. Just because it's popping up red doesn't necessarily mean that we've got a rotating storm where you could produce a tornado, but that rotation, there could be some broad rotation that could be causing some straight line winds. And that's what we are seeing here just to the south of Pineview, around Brentwood Hills, Hampton Place, and Hunters Hill. And that is 459, where it looks like the worst of this is packing a punch west with those strong wind gusts.
Okay, Lauren, and we're going to stay on top of this because we're getting reports here all around the Birmingham area, especially down in towards Hoover. Hoover Fire Department reports a large tree on a house at Valley Street, no injuries. Hoover Fire Department also reporting a large tree on a house at Regent Lane. Thankfully, no injuries reported there. We're seeing a tree down on Sally Springs Road in Etowah County, a tree down on Sally Springs Road. So if you are going to be traveling once these storms pass later on this morning, just be careful out there because we're seeing a lot of these reports coming in of down trees, and want to make sure that you are extra safe out there this morning. Let these storms pass. We've got extensive power outages right now in Mountain Brook and Vestavia. And I think, Lauren, when we were looking at those camera views a few moments ago, we were seeing some of that in Vestavia. We were seeing some of the power flashes in those areas from the strong winds moving through. But several transformers have blown in that area, and that's according to Shelby County 911. But a lot of information coming in at this time. We've been seeing a lot of these small circulations, but so far, National Weather Service are saying they're going to keep this just a severe storm at the time, but you can see that this doesn't need to be a tornado to cause some problems, and that's exactly what we're getting here. We've got winds 50 plus miles per hour now, and most of this, the timing is lining up. You know, our future scan said around 12:20, and here we go. That first alert there, Trussville and Springville, these storms arriving. It's 12:25 in the morning. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt, we declared a first alert weather day. Finally getting some much needed rain across the area tonight. Worst of this weather right now is along this line that we are tracking, moving through Jefferson County. This is closing in on Trussville at this time. Acton, we're starting to see the flashes of lightning. We're starting to see the winds picking up in places like Leeds at this time as this moves on to the east direction. And I actually got a report a few moments ago, pea-sized hail and some intense lightning in Concord. But also, if we go to this view, let me just show you, this is what it's looking like in Leeds, this just in. So lightning starting to pick up there. You're going to have those strong winds like what you saw, 40, 50 miles per hour moving into that area. But there's the storms now approaching the Leeds area in Birmingham. A lot of folks up here with us tonight, and it's just amazing. All the weather watchers and the volunteer reports and times like this stay up late with us and help share this information. It's critical information information so we can see what's going on and validates, some of these areas where the Weather Service, we haven't issued any warnings for tornado warnings for this storm, and mostly what we are seeing, a lot of straight line wind related reports. But Barber Motorsports Park, right there around the shops of Grand River and Leeds, these are areas where we're getting some of the strongest winds at this time. Lauren has kind of cut through the clutter. We've taken off the rate. We've taken off, you're not looking at rain, you're looking at where we have strong winds. And you can see that's at Barber Motorsports Park. And conditions from the Greyhound Raceway areas back towards Irondale, Holiday Gardens, Crestline, East Lake, the risk has ended. The strongest winds have pushed on to the east. This is around Barber Motorsports Park right now and tracking along the I-20 corridor. Looks trustful. I know we were getting some heavy rain, some intense lightning, but the stronger winds you can see down in this area. This is what we need to watch as this moves to the east direction. So tracking storms moving across the area, let's reset the stage. I want to back the view out so you can see. We've got some reports in parts of Cherokee County. Might have had some strong winds earlier, some trees down in some spots there. Areas back off to the north and east, but nothing severe at this time. But we are still under a tornado watch, folks in Anniston and in Talladega County, down into Shelby County. The strongest storm at the moment is this one that just blasted through the Birmingham area, and it's closing in now on Trussville. Some gusty winds, some heavy rainfall. When we looked at the data, some of the strongest winds were located in this southern part of this line, the southern flank between Alton and Grants Mill Road, and that's going to be tracking into Leeds. You can see the Leeds area next in line, so giving you that first alert as this moves on to the east direction. And then further south, you get in towards Oak Mountain. I know parts of Shelby County here. I want to touch on what's happening here because folks have been reporting, hey, we're getting some heavy rain, some gusty winds. What's happening out there this morning? It's non-severe. It's just below the severe level, but you're getting some heavy rain. And I know it's getting a lot of attention because we haven't had rain like this in quite some time. But finally, we are getting some much-needed rainfall, and those winds are picking up. But Oak Mountain State Park, you can see covered up with the rain at this time, the leading edge, now moving into Chelsea. Chelsea, this is a thunderstorm. We've had lightning. Actually, lightning's turned off. Let's turn the lightning counter back on, and you can see there showing over 50 strikes. So it's popping. You're going to hear some loud rumbles around Chelsea very soon. Westover, a first alert. Yellowleaf Creek Estates and areas back in towards Harpersville. This is going to be moving in your direction, but it's non-severe. Hopefully it stays that way. Some borderline storms as well for our friends in Centerville. You can see right now in Centerville, we've got some heavy rain, maybe some small hail in the Centerville area happening right now. Let's see if we can bring in some of the storm components on this. And let me update what we got. Let me update this. So there we go. We've got 40% chance that we do have some hail with this particular storm, half-inch sized. With the one that's over Bibb County. So that's a good sign. That was had to go back a scan just so I could look at some of the storm properties. But other storms down into Perry County, they pushed through Hale County. So if you're watching me from Moundville to Greensboro, the severe weather threat has ended for you. This is all now out of Greene, out of Hale County. Severe weather threat has ended. The stable air has moved in. It's now pushing on to the east. The worst part of this line, and I'll draw it on the screen, right through Perry County, Bibb County, Shelby County now, and pushing into St. Clair County. You can see the northern end that's going to be making its way into St. Clair County. So let's go back in for what we're seeing here, Trussville. If we go to our time of arrival, let's take this out to Ragland, for example. So time of arrival is 12:30 right now, close to 1:30. This is going to be impacting places like Ragland, okay? Close to 1:30, it's showing 1:25 for that arrival time. Also, if we go further north, let's do another arrival time here. Let's go to Asheville. We're looking at 1:17. Let's take this to Pell City. We're looking at an arrival time of 1 a.m. Pell City, 1 o'clock. Lincoln area, looks like 1:19 for Lincoln. And Weaver, we're still looking at close to 2 a.m., okay? Anniston, Weaver area, still close to 2 a.m. on those times of arrival. Let's check out the power outage. I just got a report that we got more outages across the area, and we've got a power outage index that we can bring up and just take a look at by county. Wow, look at that number in Jefferson County. So we're now seeing over 10,000 customers without power, 16,000 customers without power in Jefferson County right now. Some significant winds have made their way through the area. And again, a lot of those reports, we were just seeing some of those reports that were coming in from Vestavia. Lauren, I'll let you grab the controls here. We'll go back to radar meteorologist Lauren Linehan with me. And Lauren's been doing an incredible job here tonight with a lot of updates on the First Alert weather app and passing along reports. We got a storm spotter out and about right now, Ryan Carty. I can actually go to his view, and Ryan he's out there in it. And Ryan, be safe. If you're listening in, I know a lot of our Clear Channel stations simulcast us, and Ryan, if you're out there tonight, of course, in this weather, you'll want to be safe. And if you are going to be traveling, just know there's going to be a lot of limbs down, a lot of debris in some of the roadways out there, especially the secondary roads. You'll want to be extra cautious out there. So again, that's from Ryan Carty checking in, one of our First Alert weather watchers and an incredible storm spotter. Ryan goes all over the country spotting storms and providing all-important storm information, storm attribute information for the National Weather Service. I mentioned radio stations, and for folks in East Alabama, because this is becoming more of an East Alabama story right now as these storms press on through the Birmingham area. If you're in Jacksonville, you can hear Fox 6. You can hear our First Alert weather coverage on WJXI, WOXI. We are simulcasting at this time in the Anniston area, just to let you know for folks tuning in, but we're on Clear Channel stations all around the Birmingham area. That's our partner, the Clear Channel stations in Birmingham and the Tuscaloosa area and Gadsden as well. So right now at this hour, we have one severe storm that's been the storm of the night, and it's moving on to the east now. It's knocked out power across parts of Jefferson County. We've got trees down in areas. We've had trees down from this storm in the Hoover area. The reports coming in. At this time, we're looking at, and we had an entrapment that was reported at Regent Lane, but it looks like the tree, where we had a tree on a house, there was no injury reported according to the first responders and some of the reports that we're getting in here. Hoover Fire Department also responding to another tree on a house. So that's 3 reports I've seen with trees on homes in the Hoover area. Lauren, are you seeing something?
No.
Okay.
We're beginning to get in some video of these storms as they move through, so I'm trying to download some and get them up here so we can give you a whole visual.
Okay, so yeah, we got some reports, and Lauren's sifting through all the information, making sure we got the newest information that we're passing along. But we'll stay with you here at this early morning hour. I know it's late. It's been one of those nights, and thankfully, you know what? It's one storm, but I'm glad this is the only storm, and we don't have several storms. It was certainly a more active Saturday for states north of us. If you are just now tuning in to what's been happening with the weather today, there were actually 2 confirmed tornadoes, 2 big tornadoes, one that impacted areas from near Clarksville, Tennessee to Bowling Green, another one that impacted areas near Hendersonville, which is just north of Nashville areas, but there was extensive damage, some fatalities, a tragic day, tragic Saturday for those areas. And it was actually 1 year later from a powerful tornado moving through those areas. I believe it was 1 year or 2 years, Lauren. I've got to go back and look, but that's a very active zone, North Tennessee there, when it comes to tornadoes. And some of these storms this morning, they've shown some signs like they might be trying to rotate, and then it's mostly just straight line winds that we're seeing from these storms at this time. So let's reset the picture here. Let's reset the stage. And right now, the strongest storm at the moment is moving through eastern Jefferson County from Pinson to Center Point, back to Irondale, and into Shelby County. That's where we got the heaviest rain, and some of the strongest winds are now pushing in around the Leeds area. Some intense lightning, heavy rain in Leeds. This is moving quickly, so just hang on. 15, 20 minutes, those winds will subside, and then we will have some improving weather conditions, but that's the strongest storm. Now, I know you're probably waking up to some noisemakers further south into Shelby County. You get to Helena, points towards West Blockton, Brent, Green Pond, and back into Perry County, non-severe, but some heavy rainfall. City of Birmingham, along the I-65 corridor north of Fultondale, Gardendale, Warrior, Hayden, Smoke Rise, Coleman, severe threats over for us, okay? Severe threat is mainly in the far southern Blount County It continues into St. Clair County. Aniana, I think we're in the clear. I think it's just a lot of rain for us. The worst of this at this point is south of Aniana, and this is moving in towards Springville at this time. Some heavy, heavy rainfall, but that's wrapping in now across St. Clair County. That's going to move over towards the Whitney Junction area, Margaret, Wattsville, those communities there. Coal City, as it moves to the east. There's Trustful now getting some very, very heavy rainfall, and we can check to see if our weather watcher Tyler Young there has a report to pass along, but I know the rain really coming down for folks and getting some loud rumbles of thunder between Trustful and Margaret at this time as this moves to the east. But just a steady rain. You can see the intensity's really backed off from Fultondale, Gardendale, Morris, and Warrior, those areas there back off to the north. So we've got fire department in Hoover responding to transformer on fire. Seen some reports like this. 58 mile per hour wind gust was reported at the Birmingham Shuttlesworth International Airport. And I know a lot of times when we get into severe storms like this that are moving through the area, many, many times what we end up with are winds 40, 50 miles per hour. It's rare you really do see those winds 58 plus miles per hour, so that is going to bring down some trees. And what's going on here, I was just noticing in the past couple of scans, what we're getting, you see it almost looks like a comma head. This is what you really have to be suspicious of when you see a line like this when it comes to a possibility of a tornado, is to see, you can kind of tell how that's wrapping in. Sometimes you can get a little vortex that develops there, so we need to watch that as it moves to the east. Hopefully it follows the trend of, Lauren just stepped back in the studio, Lauren, I was noticing, you see right there we got a little comma head, you see that? Let's check the wind velocity on this, and just to do some real-time analysis, I just want to keep a watch on this. Okay, so this is ramping more back into the cooler air. It looks like the gust front's still way out here. So we're in good shape. Margaret, Parsons, Moody area, yeah, it's still intense. You see right there? Yep. That's where we got the strong winds at this time, but the winds speeds have backed off a little bit, so that's right at Moody Parkway. So Moody Parkway area, this has crossed around White's Chapel. Folks around White's Chapel, you're probably waking up to those gusty winds and heavy, heavy rainfall. This is around the Brompton exit. This is now pushing past the shops of Grand River, moving in towards Brompton and Valley Haven. If you're watching me on Moody Parkway, you're about to have some strong winds. You want to stay put. If you were heading out at this hour, hopefully, I know a lot of folks are off the roads at this time, but if you just happen to need to leave or go somewhere this morning, if you had plans, just note that you want to stay put until this passes, because we're getting a lot of reports of some strong 50 plus mile per hour winds out of this storm. So we've got dozens of, so we got some homes damaged, Lauren, you seeing that? So we've got some reports coming in now, some damage in Vestavia and Mountain Brook. Shelby County 911 is getting a lot of reports right now. So we're getting a lot of reports of some damaged homes because of straight line winds and severe storms here moving through Vestavia. So those reports are coming in at this time, and of course we'll have more specifics on exactly, we get those local storm reports. We'll post those on the screen. But these storms, that's just a testament to there's some ground truth there that these storms mean business this morning that are moving through the area. And we talked about it being 70 degrees today. You just know in December it's not supposed to be 70 degrees. I think back to 2000, we had the tornado in December 16, 2000. It was in the 70s, but also it was extremely windy that day. And that's the one thing, I don't think all the wind profiles are setting up as perfectly as they sometimes do on some of those red letter tornado days, and that's been the one thing about this that's helped us, I think, with respect to why we haven't seen more warnings out of this. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And another good thing out of this is look at all this rain that we have now back into West Alabama. More rain that is falling, but the tornado watch continues for Talladega County, and folks in Talladega, Calhoun County, Gadsden areas, just be on standby here. These storms are approaching. And once this passes, once this line right here passes, severe weather threat will be over. But now we're zoomed in. We're watching storms now pushing in towards Alabaster, Calera, Brent. You're waking up here to some loud rumbles, some heavy rainfall. The worst of this now pushing into Chilton County. So Jemison next in line there for some heavy rainfall. Again, this is non-severe, what I'm watching to the south. But this is moving in towards Jemison. You're going to probably hear some loud rumbles, maybe some pea-sized hailstones out of this as well, anywhere from Thorsby down in towards Clanton. But this is closing in on us right now. We'll keep a watch on this if it goes to that next level. Typically with the severe storm, what we look for, not only we look at velocity data, but we look, you see these cores in here. Sometimes when we start to see those reflectivities really ramp up as well, sometimes that can help distinguish, the intensity of the storm that we're tracking. But let's go further north and back to the one that's produced some damage in the Birmingham area. Right in here, you can see that notch and how this is all bowing out. We're getting the strongest winds at this point, pushing through Margaret, Springville, Moody, Leeds areas. We're under a severe thunderstorm warning. There's a chance that this may be expanded perhaps to include Asheville and Raglan. I know I talked a lot about Asheville, Raglan areas. This is moving your way, so we could be under a severe thunderstorm warning soon. With something like this, you just want to make sure you're in a very sturdy structure. You're in a site-built structure preferably, but in a sturdy structure for something like this, because you have those winds that could top 50 miles per hour. And in some cases, you can have winds that can top 65 miles per hour with some of these thunderstorms. And we've had the strongest wind so far tonight reported from one of the weather instruments, a 58 mile per hour wind that was out at the Birmingham Shuttlesworth International Airport. So if I call out your name here, you're in the path of this storm. You need to be in that site-built structure, sturdy structure. If you're in Shady Acres, and we have it listed for you here. You see that, Margaret, Cooper Springs, these are the first alert times, and just letting you know you're in the path of that severe storm that we've been tracking throughout the night that has moved through Jefferson County. So again, if you're in Margaret, Argo, Springville, Whitney Junction, north to Straighten Mountain, you're in the path of this and moving towards Pell City. Lauren, I'll let you take the controls because we have a camera that is located on Straight Mountain. So I want to see if I can pull that up and we'll see what the observations and what it's looking like there as this basically wall of rain and wind approaches, but really packing a punch in the Birmingham area.
Yeah, and we continue to see reports coming in from our partners that across Vestavia Hills, Mountain Brook, Homewood, Hoover, that there have been reports of power lines, trees down, possibly some home damage. So we just hope you all are safe as these storms are coming through. I know those of you in the path of this storm as it's pushing north and eastward, you're probably wondering, is that going to happen where I am? This storm is still fairly intense, and we don't want to discount that there is a hail threat with this in addition to the damaging winds. We noted that this storm appears to be getting a little calm ahead on it, and you can see that happen with these storms sometimes as they continue to progress. You begin to get this broader circulation, and so we'll be watching this closely for more damaging winds possible as it moves towards areas like Margaret, Springville, Odenville, and we actually did just get an extension of that warning into St. Clair County. So this severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 1:30 a.m. Central Time. Let me turn off the tornado watch so it's not too cluttered so you can see what's going on. We do have a lot of lightning on this thunderstorm, but I wanted to provide a view for you if you live in St. Clair County as we watch this storm moving to the north and east. Some spots that are going to be in the path of this where the potential for strong wind gusts, small hail, and heavy rain is going to be Asheville, Steele, Gadsden. You could eventually be included in this as this pushes to the northeast. Ohatchee, Raglan, Coal City, you're actually right up next. And Pell City, too, going to be getting in on the southern edge of this line, just right on the southern edge of that warning, Raglan and Sulphur Springs. So I've circled the cities and the towns here that are going to be under the gun here over the next 30 minutes or so for seeing the impacts from this storm that does have a history of producing damage. And we have to stress that a storm doesn't have to have a tornado warning on it for it to cause damage. That's what we've been seeing as this storm has been pushing through our area. A lot of the reports of damage are coming as this severe warned storm came through. We are actually seeing a report that the Birmingham airport measured a 58-mile-per-hour wind gust, and that does indeed verify that it was a severe thunderstorm as it came through. So if we zoom in here, get down to street level, where you're seeing the pinks, those bright pinks popping up here on radar, that could indicate not just some very heavy rainfall, granted some beneficial rainfall, certainly needed with the drought here, but also the possibility of small hail falling in areas like Margaret, Odenville, Hardwick, Branchville, just to the south of Springville. And looking at some of the roads here that this little potential core is moving across, Mountain View Road, over towards St. Clair Springs, up towards Caldwell, as this pushes a little farther to the northeast west.
Yeah.